Okay, so today we'll be looking at two new expressions in English using would rather and had better. In the first example, you've got here something which is I'd rather go out later as I'm not feeling very well. And the second example, I think we'd better do our homework before Mum comes, otherwise she's going to kill us. So when looking at these examples, you have to decide which is the one that means something that we should do and which is the one that means something that you would prefer to do. Okay? So when you look at these examples, it is very clear that the example, I'd rather go out later as I'm not feeling very well, is a clear example of something that you would prefer doing. And I think we'd better do our homework before Mum comes, otherwise she's going to kill us, is a very clear example of something that we should do. How do we use these expressions? Very simple. As you can see, when we're talking about affirmative sentences, when there's something that you want to do, you prefer doing, you start with the subject I, and the subject as always, would rather, and go, the verb in infinitive. Okay, so I'd rather go out later as I'm not feeling very well. I'd rather do my homework later. I'd rather, and so on. Here's where it's different. When we make it into a negative sentence, don't be fooled. It's not wouldn't. You'd say subject, would rather, not, and then the verb in the infinitive. So for example, this sentence in negative would be I'd rather not go out later as I'm not feeling very well. Okay? The use of this to prefer to do something, and it tends to be a more formal expression rather than saying I don't want to do something. It's a more formal expression that we can use. The other expression we saw earlier, I think we'd better do our homework before Mum comes, otherwise she's going to kill us. As you can see, the use is the same in the same case as a should, but it's a very strong use. Okay, so it's not as strong, it's not the same, I think we should do our homework, as in we'd better do our homework. Okay, thinking that there are going to be consequences to face. So how do we form it? Simple. We've got the subject, had better, and then the verb in infinitive. Okay? The same as the previous example, when it comes to the negative, it starts with the subject, had better, not, and the verb in infinitive. So, we'd better not do our homework. Well, not really, but we'd better not watch TV all day. Mum is going to kill us. Okay? So, if you feel you are ready to do some exercises, here you've got a link. As you can see, it's a link from your book. Okay, so these books, I will have it for you in the presentation, and below you can see the links directly, so you can have a look and have fun.